Bro, God's so good.
Um,
So,
huh?
for those of you that are tuning in, this is a. Are we telling them?
Yeah, I mean, we can. The cat can come out of the bag.
All right, this is a pre-recorded episode because something terrible really happened to us. No, I'm just kidding.
My gosh.
We just couldn't record this week, so this is our past selves giving future you an episode from the past.
Yeah, I think we should. I think a cool name for these would be like catching up from the vault, or like in the vault, or something like
Okay.
that. You know what I mean? Just to show that they're like these, locked up episodes that we just keep for whenever.
Whenever. Sometimes we won't be able to record that week, so we'll release them. Sometimes we'll release it for fun. You'll never know.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a mystery pull from the backup episodes.
We'll like raffle them.
Or
but this-
it could be cool. We could do like for example, like give a brief description. Let's say we have like 4 built up at any point, if this happens, and we like kind of have a general description about what is talked about in that episode. We could like put that for all 4 of them and then let the fans essentially vote on it.
Well, yeah, vote
Talking
on it.
like we have fans, but
We do. They're watching right now.
you're right.
Watching
So
or
all
listening.
2 of you,
We love
we
all of you.
appreciate this.
But this will be on the more or less shorter episodes just because my iPad just decided to not let Bluetooth work. So I spent 45 minutes, the past 45 minutes, trying to connect it. And it finally worked. Thank God. Because I had to pray. Because I had to restart my iPad twice. Didn't work. Prayed, and it worked. So make sure to do that.
He had to restart the iPad. He had to restart the mindset. Everything.
I was getting angry. Now I'm like, chill. I have to relax.
I feel that.
But I'm glad we're here. I'm glad you're here. Tyler, I already know I have a topic that we can talk about, but I feel like you have a question on your mind because you just have that look.
So while we were going through our little issues here at the Sesh HQ. Oh, the Sesh HQ. Whoa.
What?
Bring back,
Bro, every time
haven't
I
said
do it in my head, I'm like, oh, yeah, the sesh. And I'm like, oh, wait, no.
Yeah, I haven't. I think it hasn't fully carried over yet because this is at the time of this recording. It's only our 3rd recording. So the Catching Up HQ.
Cup
so
HQ.
What?
It'll
Cup
be Cup
HQ.
HQ.
Yeah, that
Catching
works
Up
too.
Podcast.
I like
yeah.
that. I like that. Cup Industries. So while we were going through those slight issues, Gabe was given a dirty look, and
Not
he
to
goes,
him.
and I was like, what happened? He's like, she just gave me a dirty look, and I was like, I wonder because. To be honest with you, I think that like I don't know if you personally feel this way, but like I think I have RBF to where I just kind of look, I don't know why, I just look angry, but I'm not. Like I'm probably thinking about the most random thing, but I just look angry. So like, do you think, and the question that came to my mind at the time was like, when you're like ever passing by somebody, whether it's like at a grocery store, Target, wherever, and like you guys make eye contact and like they have a dirty face or like they're mean mugging or whatever, like do you think it's directed at you or do you think it's just like that's just their resting face? Because I don't really care either way, but I feel like you're the type to be like, hold up.
I don't like you anymore. First off, second off, okay. So personally, as someone that does have an RBF for sure, especially when my beard's long, I just look like I just want to kill people. Like I just look very angry. I know that. So usually whenever I like make eye contact with someone that's like mean mugging or whatever you want to call it, I usually will like do like a hey or like I'll smile or like, you know, a little head nod or whatever. So like I usually try to make those types of gesture if I like, you know, make eye contact with someone just to be cordial, just to be nice. If they're mean mugging and they don't do it back, that's when I'm like, what? All right. Okay. Dang. I'm over here trying to be a nice guy. But
Well,
so yeah, it's just when they don't reciprocate.
Maybe they don't like that, bro. Maybe they're not pushing positivity like you.
Yeah, well, I don't want them there anyways. Then
Yeah, I was gonna say because I definitely like have met people later on who have been like, or like people will just catch me like just randomly thinking, and they're like, "Why are you so mad?" And I'm like, "I'm not." But, yeah. So I was just curious about that. But I mean, if you have something, go ahead. If not, I can come up with something off top.
so this just recently happened, and by recently I mean right before this podcast. So I don't know if we went over like what we do for a living outside of the podcast because this definitely pays the bills.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I've had many jobs in my life, but I'm a bar back currently. That's what I do. I'm a bar back. I work at a bar, a very, very nice, high level, elegant sports bar. Actually, it's really cool. But male etiquette at bars to females in front of their boyfriends, because my girlfriend loves to come and swing by and check out the bar. She knows all my coworkers. They're all friends. It's awesome. Like I love having her there, right? But today, it was busy. So you get the guys that pull up next to her, like, oh, so what you doing here? She's like visiting my boyfriend. And then they're just shooting their shot. Like I get it. Like I get that. That's fine. What you doing? Oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, okay, cool. Now I'd be cordial, whatever. But dang, dude, there was one dude. This one guy that goes, "That's your boyfriend?" And then she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Hi, yeah, how are you?" And he goes, "Man, they don't make them like this down in Miami." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And he's like, "Yeah, bro, she is sexy." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, thank you." Yeah, he's like, "No disrespect." And I was like, "Okay, like that's cool, I guess." And he's like, "Yeah, no." And then like he said it again, like she don't make in Miami. She's so sexy. He's like, "You better treat her right." And I was like, "I do." And then my girlfriend's like, "Yep, he really does." And then the boy goes, "Yeah, you better, because then you got people like me that try to slide in. No disrespect." And I was like, I'm at work, so I was like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Tread lightly. I will call security." Bro, but it was just like that, like straight up to my face. Just like, "Yeah, or people like me will try to slide in." And I'm like,
Wow.
Are you trying to like tell me the future? Because I'm not saying I'm going to throw down because of my job, but I will throw down. You know what I mean? It was just like, bro, what? And like, luckily, like I love my coworkers. Like they really do got my back. Even my girlfriend like always feels safe there. Like I have coworkers always checking in on her and stuff like that. So like I knew the bartenders that were taking care of her, like always making sure she was good. Which is like, if you don't trust your coworkers, bad sign.
It's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. But
It's
no,
a whole nother
like
topic.
solid, like the guys and the girls, like they're always like, even the managers know her. Like it's awesome. Like it really is like she's like coming home. Like whenever she, we'll meet people at the bar and like make friends and stuff like that. They're always like, "Oh my God, it's like you live here. Like everyone's your friend." Like because everyone goes up to her because like everyone knows her. But it's like. And, like, everyone was watching this guy because he was acting so outlandish. And, bro, like, he just, like, wouldn't stop flirting. Like, he'd keep bringing up, like, "Oh, well, your boyfriend better treat you right," blah, 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 like, when I wasn't there. And then it's just, like, it escalated because he had a couple of drinks. But I was just like, dude, like, guys, like, really, like, there was some guys, like, I respected a lot because they were like, "Oh, this is your boyfriend." They shook my hand. They kept it cordial, but then they would cut after a while they stopped talking because at the end of the day, they're like, "Okay, whatever. On to the next, I guess," or whatever their mindset is. You know what I mean? And it was just like, dude, this one guy, I'm like, people do not know how to act. Like,
Yeah, I mean, though I think that's a little bit. I think that's like one guy's out of like maybe
correct.
Every so it's not like very often, but yeah, I totally get what you mean by that.
But like, bro, I was just like, one, not only is that like, that's just really uncomfortable for the girl too. Like, whether or not she was visiting me and I was there or not, if a girl's like, "I have a boyfriend," like, yeah, cool. You can keep it cordial, especially if you're like, there was one guy that was like, oh, like, how'd you guys meet? Like, he was just like being really friendly. You know what I mean? But like, dude, like, stop pushing it. Stop like overly complimenting. Stop like, and then at one point he said some stuff that like I'm just not gonna like put out there, but he at one point was just like, oh,
ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
Bro, what?
Yeah, like just like that. Like, but he didn't say that to me. He said that to her.
Yeah.
When I wasn't there, but like he was like, "Oh, I'm not flirting," and she's like, "Yes, you are." And then that's when like my boy who was the bartender serving her was like, "Okay," like he's like, when I heard her raise her voice, like I could just call it security. Like it got like that, but bro. And like I get it, like you got a couple drinks in you, and like you feeling a little overly confident. Like I get it, but like it's just like you gotta have that respect of just like, because at the same time too, like if I work there, like, you know what I mean?
Bro said,
Like, not saying like you better watch out, but it's like people are gonna have my back over yours.
yeah, of course. I mean, but listen, bro, if he's acting like that already, if he's acting like that already, he doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
Whether it's the alcohol or, I mean, I rarely feel like it is. I feel like somebody who would do that and doesn't even have like a boundary compass, like they would do that when they were sober too. It just depends on how confident they were feeling that day, because they just don't care.
Yeah, like granted, I know my girlfriend is the most beautiful girl in the world. But you don't need to be reminding me every 5 seconds. Like, you know what I mean? Just like being over dramatic with it. I was just like, dude, like a compliment's a compliment. I get it. And like, I get like,
Right.
Maybe, that's just how you talk. So like, I get it. But like, how would you feel if that happened? And someone goes up to your girl and was like, bro, this girl is so sexy. Like they don't make this down in San Diego.
Especially in a workplace setting too, bro. It's just like, that just means like he doesn't even have respect for you. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Because you're working. Like I could see like, it's still not okay. But if y'all were like out chilling at the bar, like it's a little bit different. You're not like on the clock where there's certain things you can't say. There's certain things you shouldn't do. You could do, but you're going to lose your job.
Yeah.
So there's more strings attached for you now that you are working at your job. And he knows that. You know what I mean? Like, what happens to him? He gets kicked out and he goes somewhere else. For you, it's like, oh no, you're fired. So now he gets that one up on you too.
Yeah.
So it's just dumb, bro. It's just stupid,
Yeah. Man, that's all I had to bring up.
He said, so let's make this an episode crapping on men.
No, it was just like specifically like that, bro. Like, come on.
No, yeah, I
It was just so
totally
over
get
the
that,
top.
bro.
It was like long.
Yeah.
Like it was happening for like 30 minutes. I was like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
But overall, it was a great shift. Had fun. Yeah. I was hyped.
You're like, he still tipped me $100, so
Nah, I wish.
Well, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like people like that also do that for attention, just to kind of show that, like, oh, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Oh, I'm not afraid to say what's up. Your boyfriend's probably scared to, like, tell you what's up, but I will. You know what I mean? That sort of energy. But even, bro, I'm like, I was watching today. Well, I wasn't watching, but I've seen a few TikTok clips of, are you familiar with Austin McBroom?
Yeah. That whole situation.
Yeah, like the divorce thing. So he, though, has been, playing this whole thing like he's living in his RV so that he can, like, watch her from a distance and the house and his kids. And, like, but now all this crazy, he's, like, going broke and, like, he's wearing crappy clothes and, like, but he's posting, like, I want to say close to 100 Snapchats a day on this. And it's very clear. Like, in the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe he's just, like, losing it a little bit. But the more I looked into it and the more I, like, seen stuff, I'm like, bro, he's very clearly just doing this to get relevant again, to, like, get views again. Because he was dipping down in the views. Like, it wasn't going as good. And now that he's going through this like crazy phase, people are tuning in. And I heard that Snapchat pays like the best, especially if you post a lot of content. That's why you see people like Nelk and all those different podcasts and YouTube pages, or just TikTokers who now have
influencers in
Snapchats.
general.
Yeah, influencers in general. Apparently Snapchat pays the best.
Yeah, I've heard that. Bryce Hall said that in a interview too. He was like, "Yeah, I made like $3 million just off of posting Snapchats."
Yeah, so I
Don't
think
quote me on that. I don't
he's
actually
doing
know
it
if
for
was
that.
number.
And like, listen, I'm all for it. Like, get your bag, right? Like, do your thing. But at the same time, I'm like, it's crazy what people will do to either A, stay relevant or get famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, it's ridiculous. Do you remember when David Dobrik came out with that video of the girl that like got approached by the quote unquote Illuminati, and they were like, excuse me, they were like, "Oh, we can make you anything you want, and you can become whatever you want, do
No.
what you want," because she really wanted to be famous. I think she wanted to be like a singer or something. And like,
Right.
she was basically, long story short, she met someone at a party, said that the next day or whatever, a guy in a suit showed up at her house, and then they told like David to get out because he was like at her apartment, and they apparently told her like, "Hey, like we can make you become whatever you want, as famous as you want, like everything, like basically your dreams will come true, but you have to sacrifice someone." And then she like later on told David Dobrik about it, and then she's like that she called her mom, and her mom was for it because her mom was like down, and then I guess that like she blew up after. And he didn't say who it was, so I don't know who it was, but it's just like, regardless if that's true or not, like I know people have that mentality of just like whatever it takes. Like it doesn't
exactly.
It does not matter. Like those people that have the mentality, you know, we knew someone that had that mentality of like all publicity is good publicity, which is like not,
exactly.
Not, I mean, you know, teach their own, but it's like that's not the truth.
Bro, I'm just like, it's crazy.
Or
like,
at what cost?
I feel like nowadays certain people just do not care about any sort of reputation. And it's not even the fact of like caring what people think about you. It's like, bro, what do you think of yourself that you're a grown man? Like on TikTok and you're on TikTok and Snapchat and you're doing these most outlandish things. You're dressing in crazy clothes, ripped clothes, like saying you're broke, making yourself look like a stalker to your wife and kids. Like, you know what I mean? Just all these crazy things, and you're just like, hey, if it keeps the money flowing in, if it keeps my name in the spotlight, you know?
Well, people say that a lot about like Will Smith, like not to bring all that up, but like with the whole like Jada always exposing him and stuff like that, and he never says anything.
Well, that's her though.
Correct, but like he can say something, he can try to stop it. Like that is,
True.
you know what I mean? He doesn't have to stay with her, you know? Like
that is crazy to me.
You know what I mean?
Crazy to me that she literally airs out all of his dirty laundry to the press, and he's just like, okay. I mean, I don't know if that's what he's like at home, but to the public eye, right? And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
And that's what I'm saying.
next
Like
level.
technically, like he's kind of just letting it happen, like whatever. Like at the end of the day, it does bring his views up. I'm sure his name comes back up all again, you know. And that maybe that might not be his goal, but that's what happens.
Exactly. That's crazy, man. It's just like,
I know when you think about that type of stuff. Oh, so like you know those people that are like, I understand. I'm not like saying they're wrong, but those people that are like, oh, this person is a bad person, so like I don't support anything they do.
yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, like that's crazy how like, you know, there's a lot of them that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But like there are certain people that are like, even if it's false, like Rex Orange County, he's a singer. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
I think you do. He had like sexual assault allegations against him, and like he got canceled like bad. And then it turns out it was all false. but he's still canceled. You know what I mean? Like now he's over here trying
Yeah.
to recover from something that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like wild to me. Like it's one
That's
thing like
the
they did
scariest
it and
part
it's
of fame,
proven and like makes sense. Like okay, yeah, I get why you hate the guy or the girl because like this was a fact. Like they really did do this.
Yeah.
But like for it to be like, oh yeah, it actually didn't even happen, and now I still have to like fight for my life and like fight for my career.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and especially when you're famous, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's so sad.
You have to win people back now for things that you essentially didn't do. But that also, begs the question of, are you able to not, and this is not saying that what they did is okay for whoever it is, but are you able to separate, I forgot how I was phrasing it, but are you able to separate the artist from who they actually like the bad things they've done, essentially?
Are you asking me that?
Are you able to separate the art from the artist? That's my question.
For the most part, I can. I think it's one thing. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but like, Chris Brown is a good artist. Like,
Yeah.
he's a great performer,
Yeah.
great singer, super talented. I'm not saying he's
He
a good
is.
person. I'm not saying what he's did is forgivable, but like, you can't deny the talent. And like, I get like, oh, you're supporting him and all that stuff, but I'm just like. But then you're like mixing things like you might love your body, you might love someone at work and then hate them outside of work or vice versa. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you can't hate someone at work, like your best friend at work because of how they are, but like outside of work you're fine. Like it's like that type of like work life balance.
Yeah,
it's almost
exactly.
like, and like I'm not like bashing on anyone that like doesn't support them by listening to anything, but like I feel like. It's almost like I don't know, unfair in a way, because like I'm not
But
saying
that's the
he
thing,
got better,
bro. It's just,
but
yeah.
it's like it's a very gray area. Like there's no like fine line.
But and even it's just the fact of like, bro, somebody can be a great artist and like, to be honest with you, a lot of the times, from what it seems like, great artists have like some sort of something bad in their past for whatever reason. Not all of them, of course, but for a lot of them, and it's like, even if things you find out later, but it's just even the fact of like, think about Kanye, for example, like all the
Great
crazy
example.
things that he's said. It's hard to deny that he's, one of the most influential people
Yeah,
on the rap and hip hop genre in the past 2 decades,
yeah, no,
and
for
it's
sure.
just like that's almost like it's like a fact, but because people have their of course and right to their own opinion, but opinions on these, and no matter what it is, like this could be for anything really goes, you know what I mean? They are like, no, they just dismiss everything this person has done now because of this thing. And it's just weird. I mean, it's. I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. It's just like that's something to really think about. But in the day and age of social media, going back to what you were saying about, people being wrongly accused, bro. Now more than ever, it's insane. I mean, an article comes out on Instagram and like, you already have 90% of people against you. 10% will question it and be like, oh, let's see the facts. Like, oh, did you read? It says allegedly. But like people just see person did this and like it's over. And
Yeah.
even when you clear your name, you know what I mean? Like it's still rocky. People still always refer to that, and there's always people that are gonna be like, no, they covered it up.
Yeah,
Like there's no escaping it after that. Which is insane because it can be something that like you wake up the next morning and you're reading the Instagram late. You're like, what?
yeah,
what I
bro.
mean?
There was
That's the scariest thing.
there was one reality show I was watching. I forget what it was. Oh, it was Selling Sunset. And apparently, one of the women got divorced by her husband, and like, she got the phone call about getting divorced, and 10 minutes later, her phone was blowing up.
Wow.
Yeah, like,
That's
isn't that
insane, dude.
crazy? Because they were
And,
famous.
like-
Her husband, they were both actors.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. And that's what I'm saying, dude.
Like that's crazy. Like she
It's
didn't even
crazy.
like she even said she's like I didn't even have time to process. Like I literally just basically was like served, I guess, or whatever the term is. He was like I'm filing for divorce, and like she gets that shock, and then her phone starts blowing up 10 minutes later, bro. Like that's like hard. You know what I mean? Like that's not easy for
But like, yeah,
anyone.
and even think about, bro, like, and the question is like, do you even go to the comment section to like look and see like what people are saying? Because you know, you probably have like like I said, a 90-10 shot of people just being completely at your throat, just like throwing every name at you. You know, obviously for different things, but yeah, it's weird, man. It's just a really weird thing to like comprehend. And I was even just thinking about it before we started for whatever reason. I was like, and this could be the last thing, so we're not going too long, but if you guys like episodes like this, man, let us know. We'll do some more. I mean, this is pretty much what the podcast is like, but for the In the Vault episodes, we try to keep things a little bit more like generalized, like neutral, not like super current. But
Besides the
anyways.
Austin McBroom thing, that kind of give away.
Yeah, but that I feel like he's gonna be doing that for like freaking 2 months, bro.
Yeah,
3
for
months,
sure.
yeah, however long.
Oh, let's see. That'll be interesting. If like whenever we release this episode, comment if Austin McBroom is still blowing up or not.
Yeah, that'll. I don't know. You care to make a wager on that? I think you will be.
I bet. Say comment Tyler if he is, and comment Gabe if he isn't.
Okay. Anyways, so I was thinking, I was like, man, it would be very interesting to be podcast famous and like actually podcast famous because in a way now, like think about it. When you're famous from like a profession such as acting or music or art or whatever, a lot of the times people have like perceptions of you. They don't really know you, right? So like until you start to do interviews and do sit downs, like people don't really know you, but even if like you're not who they thought you were, like because of all this art you also have out there, like they're still gonna love you, especially if they love your music, if they love your movies, your acting, whatever. They're still gonna rock with you regardless. So for like podcasting, it's gotta be interesting because they're just like you're just like honestly attaching to these two people.
I feel like it
and who
almost
they
becomes
are
like
and
it's like you become like a one-sided friend.
yeah. So is it a more personal? Like, do people feel like they actually know you more so than they know Leonardo DiCaprio, or even though he's got regular interviews out there? You know what I mean? It's like they have different ideas of who he is versus for us, it's like this is who we are, and this is still even to a degree. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that is like I feel like almost a loaded question because I don't. I know there's a lot of podcasts like us, but not all podcasts are personal. Like especially
just
like
gonna
true
say that.
crime. Like
Yeah,
you can
that
only
makes
make that
sense.
so personal, and like you can add your tidbits there and your jokes and stuff like that. But then it's also like I don't know.
But
A lot of podcasts are scripted. You know.
But even I was gonna say, bro, I thought about it the other day too. I was like, when people saw us on a true crime podcast, like imagine you're scrolling and you see a true crime podcast, you're gonna assume these people are like true crime junkies, bro, and we weren't. You know what I mean? Like
It was a
I feel like
facade.
we're interested in it, but we're not junkies. Like, and we had a podcast about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. It's weird. It wasn't authentic to us like at all. I don't think. I mean,
Well,
yes, like I said, we like it, and if we did an episode every now and again, just like chatting about things, about it, but like actually doing it, you know what I mean? Because we weren't hired to do it. It was our choice,
Was it our choice? Like
In a way, I mean, yeah.
I know.
but
I know. We all chose to do it, but it was like that was something that one we stumbled across, and two we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
unfortunately have the wrong mindset of views, and
For sure, for
us
sure.
that was the like when we tried true crime for the first time and conspiracy, like though that was the first time we saw results. You know what I mean? For anything. And
Yeah.
we tried stuff after, and then it was just like, and like that's the thing is like we went in with the wrong mindset of like what we want to do, what's us versus like at least making that decision, we were all like, yeah, true crime's cool. Yeah,
to be honest,
we
seeing the
true
views
crime.
at first, you know what I mean? It really gains your attention.
100%. Like, you get the adrenaline rush, and like, why wouldn't you? And like, I don't think we were stupid, and I don't think we were wrong, but like,
yeah, of course.
Starting this podcast, I was like, oh, we definitely had like first timers mentality. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, I also think we were still figuring out what we were. This time, we know what we are.
Yeah. Definitely. We know who we are. We know what we want to do. We know like why we're here. You know what I mean? Versus like, I feel like it was also because in a way we started it for fun, and I feel like we obviously still do it for fun. We for sure sell.
We're going
do
in
it for
debt.
the money. I'll tell you that. like
I'm losing
this has
money.
cost us way more than it has ever earned us, but we enjoy it at the end of the day. And like that's now why we're doing it. Whereas before, it's like we were kind of starting to just look at it as a business. And then when we reassessed, we're like, hey, we're doing this for fun. So like if it becomes a business, great. And like we'll mix that into it. And we obviously still do by like being on time and like having our equipment set up and like making sure we're doing what we need to do to run a podcast. Like we didn't have to, we started this super late tonight. Like we could have just honestly been like, no, scrap it. We just won't do it. We'll do this next week. But we're like, no, let's figure it out and like let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we're just a lot more clear in like why we're doing this now. But yeah, I was like, man, that's got to be really interesting to just be podcast famous, because even like you were saying about the personal thing, I feel like also a lot of podcasts are not by people who aren't already known for something.
True.
Like a lot of them are started by actors, musicians, people who just have some sort of influence from, social media fame or whatever, YouTubers. So, they still already have something else, it's like, but who knows, maybe by the time our podcast blows up, we will both also have like some sort of other clout to our name or something attached to it in our professions. So we never know.
Yeah, that's a good point too that I never really think of, because I always say like very few podcasts make money from like streams, because like it's hard to get monetized. You know what I mean? It's hard to get all that stuff, but most of them use their podcast to direct people listening to the platforms or whatever it is that they actually make money on. Whether it is, other social media accounts or watching their movie or watching their game or listening to their music or, that's their money makers. So it's like they use that as a way to like help push people that way. But like we really don't, at least as of like this recording, you know what I mean? Like, we have our TikToks and we have our Instagrams and stuff like that, but like we don't really have anything like that yet. Like we're really just like, this is it. Like this is how you find us and this is how you get to know us.
Sorry, I just moved my beanbag a little bit.
Wow, how unprofessional.
No, but I was gonna say, well, if the first 2 episodes for some reason blow up and we're famous, then we can't use this episode anymore. No, I'm just kidding. That would actually be cool. And then for people to go back and be like, before we even started, like, we just knew.
Yucca.
But anyways, I know it's probably really late over there, and I don't know how long we've been going for, but I feel like it's at least 30 minutes.
We're at like 34, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm cool with wrapping it up there if you are.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out our social media, Catchin Up Podcast. But the Catchin doesn't have a G, so it's CATCHIN. And
we still got to figure out if we're gonna put the apostrophe in the. Probably not. No.
Why not?
It's on the Spotify logo, but I don't like. Are we gonna put that in the, Instagram and TikTok handles?
I don't know.
Well,
Does it look cooler?
I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to kind of
We
experiment
can always
and see what it
change
looks
it.
like. But yeah, either way, we'll have it linked wherever and we'll show you
down
where
below.
it's at.
Or our bio.
Yeah, and let us know if you like these late night in the vault episodes with us. It could be cool I mean, maybe not. It might be hard to do it all the time, but I think if we could do a nighttime episode like every once in a while, that could kind of be fun.
It is fun. Like I kind of miss doing it at nighttime.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's crazy to think that we used to do that. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a later episode.
In the next vault.
Because, yeah, in the next vault. All right, we'll catch you on the next one, man.
Peace out.
Peace.